Good morning, all. It's Elizabeth Smith here from the Guru Co. And it's Friday. Well done. We've all made it through, thank goodness. And hopefully a lovely weekend, according to all the weather forecasters. Am I terribly British talking about the weather already? Anyway, so today is about setting your intentions for the day. And is this something you do? Have you done this? And it's really quite an important part. And I've come across a number of situations this week where it's been pretty obvious that others' intentions are either not well intended or have been not as advertised, let's put it that way. So let's go back to basics. What am I really talking about, and why is it potentially important to us? So if you can think of somebody that you've met recently who seemed terribly confident inside, very together, unflappable, it's almost like they have an air of serenity around them and calmness, sort of a nice port where you go and anchor up in a storm. The chances are they know exactly where they're at in their heads and in their minds and in their bodies. So there is a less of an anxious vibe coming from them. The chances are they will either know the direction they're going in or not particularly bothered by the direction they're going in, because they know whatever comes at them, they're ready for it in the nicest possible way, not a battle way. And I'll come to that in a minute. But they are they stand taller, they're far more open postured. There's that feeling around them that actually you could rely on them. Now, this is what we can get just by having that connection with our intentions for the day. And I can't promote this enough to anybody. And it's really important for people who are in business, anybody going into important meetings, sales, whatever it is. For somebody who you're connecting with, if you feel that you know your intentions, you will connect with somebody else on a much better and open platform. So no pre-agendas. So think about by doing this. So what does it really mean for you? Well, by doing this, like I said, it'll reduce your anxieties. It keeps you connected with the here and now, rather than that endless chatter in your head that you can get when you're preoccupied. Am I going the right way? Is this the right thing to do? Am I supposed to be doing this? What about that's going on there? And this is always going on in the back of our minds. So if we've set our agenda, we've set our intentions for the day, not our agenda, I apologize for that, but you set your intentions for the day, that chatter can just subside, and it'll always burble on in there, but you can just turn that volume down. So think about the things that you want to feel at the end of the day. How do you actually want to feel? Not what you don't want to feel, but how do you want to feel? Do you want to feel that you've achieved something at the end of the day? Do you want to feel relaxed, satisfied, confident, tired but not exhausted? All of those sorts of things. Now, these are some of our intentions, but they're high level intentions. All right. So, you want to be less stressed at the end of the day. Now, often that comes from not having internal battles, but also not having battles with others that are not necessary. And believe you me, they're not necessary most of the time. So I want you to think again as well about sometimes if someone asks you to, you can write yourself a list, can't you, of things that you want to get through to the day, and that's fine. But if you have that list, pick 3 and only 3 that are absolutely necessary in order for you to feel that you've achieved during the day. Anybody giving you anything else during the day, just measure it up to it. Is this more important than that? And actually, if it comes out that you've got to do all 4, negotiate a different time frame for it to be completed. But don't bump the 3 that you have actually said are the most important things to you in order to feel that you've achieved today. The other tip that I wanted to think about for you for our self-coaching is think about those people who are, if you're in sales, set your attentions potentially to not selling. Might sound odd, but when you are thinking about going in for a sales pitch, often, again, we start thinking, well, if I don't sell, it's this, and if I don't sell, I won't get that. So don't go in thinking you have to sell. Go in thinking, I'd like to know how I can serve you. It gives a completely different impression to the person in front of you. And I don't care what type of sales it is, whether it's direct sales, sales online, it really doesn't matter. Don't sell to people. Go in there and find out how we can serve you. We're all there to serve each other. So actually coming from that intentional point, it's far less officious in people's faces and far more friendly and approachable. So think about that and see what comes out of it. It can be quite interesting because people receive you in a completely different way. Now, I've got a couple of meetings to go to today, and my intention is not to go in there. Well, if I wind back, and I'll tell you something, I was invited to a meeting. You know, when you have the subject of the meeting, please come and attend. We'd like to talk to you about this. So I think, okay, well, I have to go to that. And I walked in, and that wasn't their intention at all. I went in just to find out, like I will do today, and I'll talk about that in a second. But the words were really, when I sat, because I was in the space that I was in, I was able to listen to the words they were using. We don't want a battle. You know, it'd be awful if this went into some type of war. Yeah, it really would. It was about this. It doesn't feel very fair. You know, we would like to win this one. What was the other ones that they said? There was the approach felt very underhanded. And I just sat there and I thought, oh, this is not nice. This is not nice. But because I was in the space that I was in, it was like, this isn't about me. This is where they are coming from, not where I'm coming from. And I came out unscathed. Now, today's meetings, I shall go in with the same intention to find out what the real question is. Not what the answer is, not what the solution is, but what is the real question being asked. And again, it'll put me in a different time space. It'll give me a headspace to actually listen to what people are saying before you go rushing in, trying to solve problems all over the place, and do what an awful lot of companies do, which is knee-jerk. So I hope this has been helpful. Do feel free to share my videos with anybody. Lovely to see you, Shanice. Thank you for joining me. Sorry I missed you. I'm not very good at sometimes finding comments that come up, but good morning. And do #replay. Let me know if anyone's watched this later on. Anyway, I wish you a lovely weekend. Probably won't be with you on Monday because I've got things on Monday, but I'll certainly be back next week. So have a great weekend, safe weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.